Hope everybody out there watching this video is having a great day. I myself having a pretty damn good one. Gonna keep it sag with you. Anyways, the Vow Disciple raid is the Pinnacle raid for the week. I made a video yesterday talking about that, just giving everybody like a quick little heads up about it in case some of the homies out there were not aware. Obviously, this means if you don't have a collective obligation, you can farm Rolk. But in this video, I really wanted to highlight this encounter, as this encounter has, in my opinion, the 3 best weapons from this entire raid. As if we go ahead and pull up the Vow the Disciple loot table, if you look at the Caretaker encounter, you'll see that it does drop the Submission, Cataclysmic, Forbearance, and then obviously the Insidious as well, which in its own right is a really damn good pulse rifle. It's an arc pulse rifle. There's not too many good ones of those, but I just personally like the other 3 weapons that Caretaker drops a little bit more. Either way, all 4 of them are really good in their own right. Now, of course, the more experienced players will already have these weapons, god rolls, everything like that. But of course, you know, newer players or players that may return from a break this season or anything of that sort of situation, having these raid weapons are very, very strong. The Submission, one of the best SMGs in the game. Cataclysmic, in my opinion, the best linear in the game, right? Bait and switch is the strongest damage perk, and only Cataclysmic has it, at least out of all the other meta linears. And Forbearance is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's just so fun to use. It just completely destroys trash tier mob, completely cleans house, gets rid of them so fast and effortlessly. That chain reaction, ambitious assassin is such a great combo, allowing you to shoot 2 in a row. It just allows for it to take control of situations. Anyways, with that out of the way, I really wanted to go ahead and talk about some ways to make this encounter easier if you're doing it with less people, less than 6. Because of course with 6 people, you know, every encounter in any raid's, you know, pretty free. In the background gameplay, we did it with 3 people. You can do it with 2. You can duo this encounter, but that's a little bit difficult. I would say if you have 4, that's going to be the sweet spot to be able to do everything efficiently and smooth, as damage is never going to be an issue. And the main reason for that, especially if you're doing this with less people, is if y'all have the raid mod Into the Light. This mod is absolutely busted. It's what allows for grenades to hit for like over 300k casually against this boss. Myself, in the background gameplay, I was using only 3 copies of the raid mod. What this mod does, it allows your grenades to recharge faster and do more damage when you are not under the pervading darkness debuff. So when you're doing damage, do not get hit by those stupid worms that Caretaker like to shoot at you, right? So by far the easiest classes to do this encounter on are going to be your Titans and your Warlocks, of course. Archetypes are just absolutely cracked out with that Heart of Inmost Light, and then Warlocks, we already know with that Starfire protocol, it puts in work. Empowering Rifts go to work here. I would say if you are running this with 3 people, your main runner that's going to be getting most of the symbols, highly recommend they have their mobility exotic on for their respective class. And the other very important thing that your main runner should be wearing should definitely be an Eager's Edge sword. I'm gonna let you know right now that if you are doing damage to Caretaker with any form of grenade build with Into the Light raid mods, you absolutely do not need a heavy, so go ahead and put on the Eager's Edge sword and you'll be good to go. Just trust. I'm telling you, as you may need to have one of your other players go in at some point to help get some symbols, as your main runner might have a bit too many darkness stacks stacked up. And of course, while your main runner is getting their symbols, make sure you do have some pretty good stuns. Obviously, the second floor is always the most trickiest part, especially if you're trying to solo stun him on that floor. It can definitely be a little bit maneuverous. I myself suck for shit on the second floor when it comes to solo stunning, and was definitely needing some help from my homies to help stun that motherfucking Caretaker. I tell you what. The last, I guess, little trick that I want to mention is that your main runner should be having a mountaintop. They should shoot the door with it, as this is what's going to allow them to open the door by themselves while they're in there, so nobody on the outside has to worry about turning around, shooting the door while dealing with ads, trying to stun Caretaker. Just one less job for the people on the outside that they have to worry about. Of course, if you get 6 people, this really doesn't matter because it's completely free with 6 people. But with Vow being farmable for only the 2nd time since it's been released, I did want to go ahead and make this video a little bit more detailed, talking about this specific encounter and why it's a really good time to farm it, especially if you don't have some of these really good meta weapons from this raid. I'm telling you, bro, I use the Forbearance so often. I use the Cataclysmic for every sort of linear boss damage required. I got that Solar Phantomite linear at the ready, strap, ready to go, bait and switch 4 times the charm, you already know. And then the Submission is just an overall amazing, amazing SMG. Y'all take care, be safe, we'll see you on the next one.